Hello, everybody. Um, Welcome again to another episode. I think this is episode 8. Yeah, I just did number 7 a few minutes ago. And please forgive me. I am the top critic in the nation of the United States when it comes to restaurants. Listen, let me tell you something. If you have a restaurant, okay, let me advise you. If you're listening to me or you've seen this video and you are a restaurant guy, maybe you know something I don't know, but you're going to know something that I know. Maybe your restaurant might be okay, but maybe there's a fifi there somewhere. You're going to catch it. I'm going to expose it. I'm tired. I'm going to speak today on episode 8, why restaurants fail, or why they close, and all that kind of stuff, or they mess up big time. Now, yesterday, I was in my computer, and I was on YouTube, and all of a sudden, talking about restaurants now, I don't know how this happened. This guy came out with some lady there. She's Cuban. And she was almost in tears. She was crying, anything like that, but I could tell that she was hurt. And I looked at her face and I said, wow. What every restaurant owner faces every day is the fact that you only get a little bit of customers or you don't get customers at all. And you may be cooking, you may be the best cook in that neighborhood. You could be the top chef. And yet you don't get not one soul coming to your restaurant. That is bad. That is sad news. When I saw this video last night, I was moved with compassion because I know that feeling because my best friend, he passed away, went with the Lord. He opened a restaurant in Staten Island. It's called El Coquí. And he and his wife, she's a real Puerto Rican woman from Puerto Rico. Oh yeah. I taste her cooking. Ooh. You want to try her meatloaf? Man, you're not going to find that meatloaf nowhere in the United States. Nowhere. I don't care where you go. And she makes the best chuletas. Chuleta is pork chop. We got different styles that we make in Puerto Rico. We make it fried. We make it ahumada, meaning smoked. And sometimes we make them in the sauce, tomato sauce. And that particular style is called jardinera, garden style, because it has onions and it has garlic, it has vegetables, it has I forgot what it has. All I know is that my friend's wife, she used to make these chuletas, man. This pork chop, so freaking delicious. That I said, wow, if you open a restaurant, man, you're gonna have it done. You're gonna fly. Anyway, they open up a restaurant, and boy, her and her husband, they know how to cook. My best friend, especially his wife, because she knows more. Man, she was making this ingredient that made people come back. People were coming back for that chicken because he had a big grill. He was doing nothing but chickens. People used to come back for chicken. every time, around the clock. And I said, wow. There was one guy, check this out, there was one guy, he used to come and order una bandeja. You know the big, that silver plate thing that you carry food with? You find in restaurants, in the buffet? Okay. The guy used to come and buy sometimes 8 chickens at a time. 8 chickens. So you know what he used to do? He took it back to his restaurant and said that he did it. Look at that. How people are stealing your idea. I don't know. Listen, if you are in the habit of stealing other people's ideas, you are going to hit rock bottom. Trust me when I tell you. Trust me. Trust me. Because that little freaking game is not going to last forever. Because the reason why that guy's restaurant never went nowhere is because my friend closed his restaurant down. So now where are you going to get the chicken from? Okay, now you got to go to Jersey and get it. Somewhere in some Peruvian restaurant. And a lot of restaurants, they're closed for a lot of reasons. Some of them, they're closed not because they got money. That has to do a lot with it, but it's not too much money. It's how you cook. So going back to that lady yesterday in YouTube, I felt bad for her because the guy that was filming, he was pleading with people to please come over. The food here is great. The food is delicious. And I was looking like that, looking like that, looking. And I'm trying to discern, looking around the restaurant. So what the heck is making this restaurant? Nobody doesn't want to come in. And I said, could it be? Cuban people and Puerto Rican people and Dominican people, some of them are into witchcraft, to tell you the honest truth, okay? So I'm not here talking about witchcraft. I'm going to tell you what happens when you mess with witchcraft. This person, when I looked at the restaurant, I looked at the lady, I said, I think I know what's going on. Because if you cook so great, your food is so delicious. And she said it. She said, listen, I'm the best chef. We make the best food here. This food is amazing. If it's not that, then what the hell is it? I concluded that it has to be somebody jinxed that place. Either that place was jinxed before you and you moved in and that place has a spirit. That place has something. Or somebody, some friend of yours, somebody is doing witchcraft on you. So you will not get no customers. And that can happen. There are powers out there, paranormal division thing. There is paranormal things out there, and believe me, the devil exists, evil exists, and so is good, and righteousness and holiness. But I'm going to tell you, those people that do evil to other people, trust me, they're not going nowhere. They're going to get the surprise of their life. They are going to meet the Maker, and the Maker is not going to be very happy. It's not going to be a pleasant encounter. Okay? So I'll let you know right now. If you're into witchcraft, you're going to have an encounter with God. It's not going to be funny. It's not going to be pleasant. Trust me. Trust me when I tell you. If you want to go ahead, do what you got to do. Okay? Because I'm covered by the blood of Jesus. So when I looked at that lady last night in YouTube and I felt bad. And I said, it has to be something like that. Either the restaurant, it was jinxed and she was jinxed, or somebody's playing witchcraft. That's the only freaking conclusion. Nothing else. Now, you got to be careful now that there are restaurants that they use witchcraft to cook. They cook, they use witchcraft in the background. They play around, they're doing satanic rituals and praying for the food so that you could keep coming back. And they take control of you. Gotta be careful with that. And I heard that many times. I heard that. Gotta be very careful because evil exists. And there are people out there that are willing to go so low that they'll consult Satan so that they could prosper in the restaurant. So this lady, I think somebody was doing something to her, or somebody's doing something in that particular realm. And it's sad. But it's sad. And then there's also other restaurants. I'm talking about the ugly ones now. I had a friend that used to work in a Dominican restaurant. And I'm not talking Dominicans, because I know some Dominicans that cook real good. I know them. But there are some. I don't want to go there, but I want to go there. My friend used to work there, and he was working in the kitchen. He was a chef. And he confessed and said that certain Dominican restaurants, especially in that restaurant, they used to make rice, chicken, steaks, pork chops, everything. They cook for the whole week. They didn't cook Tuesday, fresh. They didn't cook Wednesday, fresh. They didn't cook Thursday, fresh. They didn't cook Friday, fresh. They reused the food over and over and over again until it's finished. Now, what the hell is that? What is that? What kind of BS is that? That you are going to cook so much food for the whole week, and you're going to put it away, take it out, put it away, take it out, put it away, take it out until the last pork chop. And that pork chop been sitting there for 5 days. Think about it. And this restaurant was in New Jersey. And then you know those delis over there in Staten Island where they serve sandwiches and stuff like that, and bagels and all that crap, and they got chicken sandwich, they got this sandwich, that sandwich. So I went there one day. I went to one in Highland Boulevard and Cromwell by over there in Staten Island. And I went to the back, and there was a white girl. And she said, "Hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? What's up? Hey." We started talking, you know. And she told me, "Listen, whatever you do, don't eat here." And I said, "What happened?" I said, "Listen, my friend, let me tell you the honest truth. You know what they do here with the chicken? They bathe it in Clorox. They wash it with Clorox." I said, "But why?" I said, "Because the meat is rotten. The meat is expired. It smells. So they wash it with Clorox to take away the smell, and then they cook it, and then they serve it." So don't be surprised if a restaurant is doing the same thing. And some restaurants, when they cook, sometimes they cook with vinegar. And you got to watch out with that. Because I had a friend that used to work for KFC back in the days, back in the 80s or 90s or 80s. And there was a lot of chicken that was expired, that was rotten, smells like dead bone, dead meat. And he told the boss, I said, "Listen, this meat is not good to eat, to consume. It is rotten, it's messed up." And guess what his boss told him? "Listen, just take the freaking chicken pot and put a lot of vinegar, and that will kill the taste, that will kill everything." So now when you go to a restaurant, let me give you a warning. let me give you a heads up. If you go to a restaurant, I don't care what it's a top restaurant, middle, down, whatever, and you try the chicken or whatever it is, and you got some kind of taste of vinegar taste, now you know what I'm talking about, right? Oh, okay. Because one day, me and my friend, my best friend, and his wife, we went to eat in a restaurant in Staten Island a while back. That was back in the 2000 something. And we were eating, and his wife said, "Hey, this chicken tastes like vinegar." I said, "What do you mean it tastes like vinegar?" I said, "It got vinegar taste." They're reusing the chicken. The chicken must have been very bad, and they cleaned it with vinegar. And we stopped eating right there. We just stopped. I said, "Give up. Forget it. Get out of here. Get out of here." So watch out for that. Watch out. There's people out there, trust me, that they will cut all kinds of corners just to make a buck. And they don't give a crap about your health. They don't give a crap if you die. They don't give a crap if you wind up in the grave next day. They don't care. So be very careful. I'm talking about ugly restaurants. You know, the bad, the good, and the ugly? Okay, this is the ugly ones. And let me tell you, be very careful. Very careful. This is not a joke. This is your health. So if your chicken or your food, for some reason, you go to one of these Spanish restaurants or so, whatever have you, and you had like a vinegar taste to it, think twice. Take my advice. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. Anyway, God bless you. And please, it's just constructive criticism. That's what I'm doing. I got the right to do that. Everybody else has the right to do that. Now, if you want to progress, if you want your restaurant to go forward, do the right thing. Cook fresh every day. Do the right thing every day, and you're going to prosper, and you're going to make a lot of money. And let me end with this. There was a restaurant. I don't know if it's still there. It's a Puerto Rican restaurant. A little, tiny, little restaurant that only fit 6 people. And I don't think you cannot sit down. I'm not sure. He has some stools. I can remember. The guy there, he makes his food fresh every day. The food that remains, he takes it home or he gives it away. And the next day, he starts fresh again. The next Wednesday, fresh. Thursday, fresh. Friday, fresh. Saturday, fresh. And that's the way it's supposed to be. If you cannot do that, and then you're cutting corners and you're cheating, and you should be ashamed of yourself. If you're a restaurant, you're doing that. You should be totally ashamed of yourself. And I'm sorry to say this, but you better close that thing down before somebody dies. I'm telling you. Before somebody gets hurt, somebody gets sick like hell, like happened to me a long time ago, please, I'm begging you, either stop what you're doing, clean up your act, or close. Close the shop. Get out of there. Go open an ice cream place. Or go flip burgers over there in McDonald's. You're better off that way. Save yourself a lot of trouble and a lot of stuff, have to do with courts and law and judge and everything. Be very careful. God bless you guys. Until next time, episode 9 next.